This is the that.DASK EduBiz Consult, and I'm EduDask. The that.DASK EduBiz Consult is basically into admission, scholarship, and visa abroad. I've secured for others. It's now your turn. Investigate the process and let me hear from you. But until then, let me share with you New Year resolutions. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and to not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? The plans of the diligent leads to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. The good book. Understand the essence of resolution. Getting from where you are to where you want to be. You are currently in a situation and you are going to make a resolution so that you can make progress and get to where you want to be. God wants us to be successful in our endeavors, and His plans are to prosper us and to make sure we have a successful future. But there remains an obligation for you to do. You have to go through an intentional process, a deliberate attempt to make sure you reach your target, and it requires of you your time, your energy, and you need to put in place strategic plans to help you get to where you want to get to. The essence of this video. Our subject, New Year resolutions. But of course, what is a resolution? A resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something. This seems fairly straightforward. But you see, the fundamental issue that you need to address has to do with behavioral change. But how many people want to change our behavior? We all want to have others change theirs, but it's difficult for us to change. But of course, notice what will constitute your resolution, your goals, your priorities, your dreams, your aspiration, your to-be list will constitute your resolution. Your New Year resolution is basically a fresh start, a new beginning. But when is it done? Ideally, the New Year resolution are made at the end of the year. Possibly it could also be made at the beginning of the year. The components of your New Year resolution might include your spirituality and contributions to the divine one. You might want to look at your marital issues and the family setting, child nurturing. It could also be general relationship, social issues, could be amongst others. Your New Year resolution could also be your physical health. It could be your occupation. It could be some projects that you want to embark on. It could be pursuit of academic excellence. Maybe you didn't manage your time well. You'd want to look at it this time around. You might want to look at communal labor and how you can contribute to it. You might want to look at your responsibility with regards to lesser world, animals, our environment, and see how you can also be of impact and benefits to them. You might want to look at your hobbies and your leisures, the things that excite you. But there's a meaningful attempt to get to these goals. Now, when you are setting these goals, you might want to look at your inner desires and of course match it against your priorities. So your priorities should match your desires. There you can make progress. Now, you might want to look at a change of habit, a change of routines, the way you do things with regards to your spirituality, your physical well-being, your social life, your emotional faculty, and your intellectual capacity. Maybe also your finances and psychologically. These are the areas that you want to make a resolution and get away with life even more successfully. Now, notice that there's a journal of clinical psychologists in US, and it spells out that only 46% of Americans actually make a resolution. And we're looking at over half who do not make any resolutions at all. Now, there are some groups of persons who do not make any resolution at all. You might want to call them non-resolvers. Research shows that 4% of these non-resolvers will actually be successful anyway, even without making a resolution. It could be in mind. But it is advised that, and you should take notice of the fact that those who make the resolution are likely to succeed 10 times as to those who do not make the resolutions. You might notice that it is easier to make a resolution than rather follow it. Lots of people will make the resolution, but in the space of time will abandon it and get to their old way of life. It's difficult to change our habits. We are people of habit. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, says Albert Einstein. And if you aim at nothing, you hit nothing. If you aim at nothing, you hit nothing. These are wise sayings you might want to take notes of. Set a goal it is easily to see and ignore irrelevant things when you set a goal. It also helps you to spot relevant opportunities. Thirdly, you build momentum, the energy, and you are more focused because you are heading towards a destination, somewhere you want to be. I encourage you to set a goal. But all said and done, how does one set, or as it were, make a resolution? You might want to seek the face of God, divine intervention, spiritual being. You want to acknowledge that and benefit from that. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the waterline, says the good book. Keep God in the picture. Seek divine intervention. Seek help. Your second point with regards to making a resolution, but you have to be prepared mentally to make the change. Mentally be prepared. You want to look at your inventory. Take an inventory of your life. Stock taking. Notice that you might have made progress somewhere and you need to commend yourself, and there are areas that you need to significantly improve. Think about the following. What did I set out to do in the past year? Where did I make progress? Where didn't I see progress? What drew me back? You might want to ask yourself some of these questions so you can make progress. So mostly your resolutions has to do with the limitations in your life, and that you don't want to correct them and better them for foreseeable years. But also commend yourself with the good and let it be a source of encouragement to you so that you can make progress. But are you ready for change? Individuals who are ready for change have certain characteristics. I want you to familiarize yourself with these characteristics. These characteristics might include diligence, perseverance, foresight, motivation, faith, hindsight. Get attached with the divine one. Be so attached, then you can be mentally prepared to make a resolution that works. According to Statistics Brain Research Institute, 4% of Americans usually make a New Year resolution, and only 8 are actually successful. But why? Why is it that the success rates are falling? Why do we have a fall in the success rate? You might want to look at the willpower. You might also want to look at our inability to set realistic goals. Several factors may account to this, but look at your behavior that you would have to unlearn, to learn new ones that would help you reach your goals. Create long-term vision. Notice that the second point was mentally prepare for change. The third point is create long-term vision. Have a long-term plan. If you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. Lewis Carroll admonishes and advises us. Get a vision statement. Know where you're going. Get a long-term goal. You need to have a vision and to know where you are going. You could restrict you to specific timelines. It could be a year, it could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 15, it could be 20 years time. But by all means, get a vision, get a plan, a long-term vision. Now, when you have this long-term plan, you can easily restrict you to short-term or if you like, yearly goals. So they will become your long-term into specific years. Short-term will become your yearly resolutions. So you will forecast backward planning. You would assume a 10-year future or a 5-year and plan back. So you're going to advise yourself, what is it will I do so I can actually get to my preferred destination, which is 10 years or 5, or as you have said. Backward planning helps. Set goals that motivate you. We all have specific things that motivate us, the things that we take into consideration to make our lives better. The New Year resolution is about you. So by far, you are not going to ask or have others influence your New Year resolution. Your friends shouldn't, your parents shouldn't, your spouse shouldn't. It should be an internal activity. Of course, you can seek for a bit of advice, but it is something that you are convinced you are motivated with. Take note. I want to share with you about certain things certain steps or activities or factors that will help you to motivate you. Identify your values. We are different from one another. Identify what your values are, the things that are important to you, the things that you consider relevant. When you identify these values, it will be a source of motivation for you to reach your goals. Notice that value strengthens your personal relationships. Set a goal to call a friend or visit a relative at a specific time each week. This is an example of a value you would want to take into consideration. You could have a value of becoming financially independent. In a specific year, you'd want to look at that. Set a goal, be resolute, and have a goal in specific time to invest in let's say, a passive investment. So it could be your value with regards to your finances. Set a goal. Your goals should be SMART, the acronym for SMART. As your goal should be specific, your goal should be measurable, your goal should be achievable, it should be relevant, it should be time bound, and you should be able to share. Let us look at what this acronym means. If you have a value that is specific, it is clear and concise and concrete. It is not vague. If you have a value that is measurable, you can quantify it and keep record of it. Achievable, attainable values or goals are targets that you can reach. They are realistic. When you look at the resources that you have, you are able to attain these values and goals. Your values and goals should be relevant. Notice what is important to you. What are the values? What are the goals that will contribute to your long-term vision? It should be of concern to you. Your goals should be time-bound. Restrict you to timelines so you can check out for success rates, success stories, and see which ones you might want to pay attention to, which ones are urgent. A sense of urgency. Time-bound values will give you a sense of urgency. Your values should be shared. I'll tell you about it later on in the video. But the fifth point with regards to making resolutions, New Year resolutions, is that they should be manageable. Your goals should be manageable. It should be something within your strength. It shouldn't be out of your capacity. Mostly we are looking at something that is way out of place. You might want to set a goal that is getting you to be competitive unnecessarily, and resources you might not have acquired to reach to be able to make that resolution. It will lead to a failure. Take note of manageable goals. So you might want to get a short list of priorities. What are your priorities? Prioritize them. Prioritize your values, your goals. The sixth point, break up these goals into smaller ones. These goals might be bigger, so you are advised to restrict it to smaller immediate goals so that you can have a tactical plan to achieve these goals in a specific space of time. So you measure your progress. So these goals could be monthly, could be weekly, could be daily. When you set these goals and these tasks and objectives, you can develop a tactical plan to achieve them. So you are working it out. You are not going to achieve your resolution out of it's something that you have worked out. When you have a tactical plan that is geared towards achieving your values and goals, the chances that you succeed is very high. Take note of the few tips that will make your massive goals more achievable. Create a list of subtasks, specific duties, specific responsibilities that you need to do. Now prioritize these tasks, get them in order. Now when you do so, decide how much time each task will require to be successful at each task. Allocate resources. What are the resources that you have to make these goals attainable? When you do so, focus on the next, not the big goal. Stay with the specific tasks. Take note. The seventh point I'm sharing with you with regards to your resolution is that carve appropriate strategies and tactical plans. Get a strategy. Everything that gets successful has a strategy. Specific strategies will help you. By far, it might include a change of behavior, a shift from your behavior. Change your behavior. So some tactical plans, strategic plans, you might want to look how to do with what, when, who, how, and why. These factors help you and direct you and give you a focus where you can make progress. Understand the political, economic, social, technology, environment, legal, and spiritual factors, and how these can contribute to a tactical plan to make sure you reach your resolutions and get them to be more successful. The eighth point, write it down. Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that whoever reads it may run with it. Put it down and make it plain. The good book says, the faintest ink is more powerful than the strongest memory. The Chinese proverb admonishes us to put it into writing. Researchers have proved that writing down your goals in the first place will serve as a remembrance so that you can always be remembered as to what constitutes your goal. You can also track your goals, and also if to the extent that you are successful at any, you can cross them out. These are specifics that you want to take to advantage and you want to take notice of. Writing it down could be in a book, could be in a journal, you could draft an email. Take notes or print your goals, but find a way to plain on tablet. Now, appoint people that will hold you accountable, people that care about you and will want to share in your resolutions. They will hold you accountable. They will give you a sense of obligation, and you will take into consideration measures to reach your goals. 10. Hang around your mentors. Get a mentor. Get a life coach that can help you with some technical support that you will need. Notice our subject, New Year resolution. Now, the 10th point, I'm asking you to hang around mentors, achievers of specific goals, so they help you achieve or provide you with a support base to help you reach your goals. So these mentors might basically be people who you want to be like with regards to one way or the other. It could be an advancement in a specific career that you want to take after them. To the extent that you get in touch with them, you get involved with them, they expose you to how they made it, and they will be in a position to better coach you and bring you where they are. Get in touch with them. Their countenance, their association is rather more contagious. You will only get successful as they have. Right. So they will be a source of inspiration to you. The 11th point with regards to making a New Year resolution. Put in place reminders. Get a reminder mechanism to monitor you with regards to your progress. It could be a Google Calendar. It could be reminders on iOS. Get reminders to help you and remind you that you don't forget yourself, but the reminders will put you in check. 12. When you make progress with regards to these goals in the space of time, celebrate them. Doesn't necessarily mean to be extravagant in one activity or the other. It could just be the little things, buying a new car or giving yourself a good treat. Let it be of interest to you that you need to celebrate your success. Pamper yourself. Sleep in a new hotel. Something that makes you feel special. Something that you don't usually do. Celebrate your intermediate successes. The 13th point. Our subject, New Year resolutions. Review your resolutions regularly. Because of the issue with changes and environmental influences, review your resolutions. Review them so that to the extent that you think it's not attainable, you can't reach them, you would have reviewed it before the year ends. Review your resolutions. Schedule a monthly big picture review. Do a weekly reviews within the month. Do daily reviews of smaller resolution tasks. To the extent that you are doing these specifics, you will succeed at the end. Review your resolutions. Number 14. If you fall off track, get up, rise up, and do it again. But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. The good book. Do not stay where you are. Life gets even more challenging. Setbacks happen. Challenges get in our way. But by all means, get up, rise up. Do not stay down. Keep the flowing ideas in mind. Skipping an immediate task is not a complete failure. You have not failed. You couldn't have failed. Missing a goal with regards to a minor percentage will not come against you. I am motivating you that be expectant of these, and when they come your way, it shouldn't get you down. It shouldn't weigh you down. Get up and get your goals. Finish a task late doesn't mean that you're a failure. It couldn't have been. But by all means, get up and continue the battle. Reach your goals. You don't have to stay where you are. Make progress. Take note of the conclusion. Now, we are made to succeed, and we have the resources and the mechanisms to make us succeed. But situations and the environment challenges come up against us. But because you have put in place all the things I have argued above, you are in a position to do well. You will indeed do well, and the coming years will be better than the previous years. Others will share in your celebration. Your friends will share, your families, your mentors will share in your celebration. Remember to fix your mind on the prize. Now, combine a personal discipline, willpower, perseverance, self-control, and some tolerance of discomfort that at all costs you will reach your goals. Let me hear from you in the comment section. What are your experiences? What are the things that you think you have learned, the things that you think you can also share so others will benefit from you. Share with me a constructive criticism. I love you more. Thank you.